It's been over 10 years now since I visited my father, as in me physically taking myself and going over to his territory and hanging out with him. No big deal. Nothing bad about that. It's just the way things are. My life back then versus my life now is completely different. Arranging such a thing is just not really easy for me. The first visit was from the end of June 2011 through the end of July 2011. The second visit was sometime in December 2012 through early January 2013. I had a great time. I really did. I got to hang out with my dad in a capacity that we just never did. I vividly remember this gesture performed by the woman he was seeing at the time. She was nice. She was nice to me. But I could feel that the vibe between them was just off. Even as far back as that time, I was the same when it comes to being perceptive. It helped that around that time is when I had started to journal, and I was becoming more confident about feeling my feelings the way I was feeling them. One of the things that I picked up on is that they seemed to be different in ways that is not the good kind of different. It's not like, oh, we're different, but we have things in common that keep us connected. My dad is a very outgoing person. He just loves the outdoors. It's what he did for a living. He had to be out there, expose himself to danger, whatever. He did that. She really didn't. I really didn't pick that up from her. We did activities outside, but I could tell that it's not like she was delighted by it. When it comes to sense of humor, I could also pick up on the difference there too. There was some stuff that my dad would say that was stupid, but it was extraordinarily funny. But she would kind of like roll her eyes at him. So I think that what was happening at that time was more of a attraction type of thing. I don't know if it was just physical. I don't know if it was just someone being a utility in the perspective of, oh, well, because of the line of work that I have, I could use support at home and you can provide that and this and that and the other. Maybe that's what was happening. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, but I just want to give you like a little bit of a feel of what was happening at the time. I cannot remember if this happened during the first or second trip. It could have been for the first trip because right at the end of July when I left, my birthday was soon coming up. Maybe it was a gift ahead, or maybe it was for the second trip because it was in the Christmas range. I cannot remember. I don't feel like digging up my journals to confirm. I'm pretty sure I journaled about this, but I vividly remember the day that his girlfriend at the time walked into the room that had been designated for me at that house. And she said that they got me something. And I thought, oh, that's nice. That's great. I like gifts. It's thoughtful. It's considerate. You don't have to, but here you are doing it. Great. But I think that what got me is the comment that was attached to the gift. The gift was actually pretty. It turned out to be a basket with some makeup on there. It had like a variety of makeup. And I could tell that the makeup was considerably nice. Like I would imagine that it was average or at least above average when it comes to quality. But unfortunately, it's just not something that I'm into. And you guys would know that. When she handed it to me, these were her words. She said, hey, we got you a little gift. I know that you don't really paint your face or anything like that, but I hope you like it. I looked at it and of course I appreciated the gift. I appreciated the thought. I appreciated the gesture. But at the same time, you guys know Critical Sam kicks in and I was like, what in the hell? If you know that I don't like makeup. Why are you getting me makeup? What do you think I'm going to do with this? I ended up trying it a couple times. I really did. And I actually had some level of fun with it. I tried especially the blue shades, and I tried the eyeliner, and at some point I was trying to learn how to conceal things and whatnot. But at some point I said, I'm forcing myself to use this, but I just know it's not right for me. And at some point I was hating how it was making my skin feel. Like, I like for my skin to feel fresh and breathe and all that. At some point, when you have makeup on, stuff is just going to start spreading. It was getting in my eyes, and I hated that, oh man, if I gotta like rub sweat off my brow or something, I gotta be careful because I have those impurities. I said, no. I'm a simple person. This has never been my thing. I don't need to start now. Had she given me the basket and said nothing, just been like, hey, so we got you something, I hope you like it, that would have been fine. And my dad also knew that I wasn't into makeup, and I'm sure that either he told her that, or maybe I made a comment about how I don't do that, or maybe she observed the fact that my entire time there, I hadn't put any on. Had she just given it to me, left it at that, it would have been great. But the fact that she said, I know that you don't do this, but I'm still getting you this, that's when my critical thinking kicks in, and I want to interpret that. If you know that, why? Is it because it's the kind of gift that you're accustomed to giving a girl? If that's the case, okay, no problem. Is it because you got it ahead before maybe my dad confirmed that it's not something I do, and then you were like, oh man, should I return it? And then maybe between y'all, you arrived at the conclusion that maybe I would appreciate it, and maybe I would actually try it because maybe I've never had a nice kit to maybe motivate me to try it or something, I don't know. Or is it because maybe you're hoping that I join the culture of being a woman who does that type of thing? I don't know about you guys, but if you know that someone is not into something, your instinct is to not expose that person to that very thing that they express that they don't like. The reason I wonder about this, it's not that I'm overthinking a gift or I'm ungrateful about a gift. Nothing like that. It's just I want to understand how people arrive at that conclusion. Just why do you roll with it? Especially when the information is available. It's no big deal. I don't make big deals out of situations like that, of course. This is just me in my own little world. This is where I thrive. I like to think. I like to imagine. I like to question things. I like to be curious. I just found it odd and weird that you knew it. And you say, I know that you don't put this stuff on your face or anything like that, but here you go. What do you think is the intent? To be an influence? To just perform the gesture? Or to just be able to say that you tried something? I don't know. So yeah, you guys, in conclusion, me at the time, I was internally a little bit annoyed because I thought, just what is this? You know me. Why? Looking back, I realized that I really haven't changed much in my opinion, but now I'm looking at it as, I think it was just a product of the environment, because everyone around me, regardless of age, that's just what they do. That's just what they were into at the time. And I'm guessing that maybe she might have thought that I may not have the resources to be able to afford that stuff, but deep down, I'm interested in that stuff. I just know that that's not something that I would do. So now I pass the question off to you guys. If someone tells you that they don't like something, would you still try to get them on board with that? When it comes to food, or say experiences such as someone saying, I hate to dance, but have you tried how to dance? Or have you taken lessons? And they say no. And you're like, are you sure you don't want to try? I think that's different because you may have a perspective that this other person just doesn't have, and you're able to supply that. And through that learning experience, you may influence the person into liking it. Me personally, if I were to meet someone who's really good at that stuff, like say a legit cosmetologist, if I had a real close connection with someone who does that type of stuff, and they start saying they want to try it on me, I will say no. Because it's not about the fact that I don't know how to put makeup on my face to where it looks good. Or it's not that I am frustrated with the process of getting makeup on my face or anything like that. It's I genuinely don't enjoy the sensation of makeup on me, on my face. I just feel like my skin is suffocating. I am athletic. I like to be able to sweat. I like to be able to throw myself in bed and my face hit the pillow. I enjoy the fact that I don't have to wash my face really particularly and very methodically so that no impurity is left behind and it rots my face, nothing like that. Based on my lifestyle and my preferences in general and how it makes me feel, it is suitable for me to not wear makeup. In addition, the times that I have worn makeup and it was supposed to look good, it's not like I felt like makeup was giving me that feeling of, wow, I'm hot now, or I look great, and this really boosted my appearance. I have always felt that no matter how well applied the makeup was on me, I didn't see it boosting any features about me. Every time I would wash my face and go back to normal, I felt like I looked better. And when the makeup was applied and I looked at myself, it's like, okay, some colors changed. But once I washed my face and I came back to normal, I always saw that, wow, I look so much better without this shit. And I convinced myself by the age of 15 that that's just the reality for me. Even if a professional were to do all that shit, contouring, eyeshadow, whatever the hell, I don't care. I don't want to try it. I'm not going to try it. And I don't feel like my opinion on that is ever going to change. When it comes to foods though, if someone says something like, oh, I don't like egg, I can be like, okay, you don't like egg, but have you tried it like this? Have you tried mixing it with this? Have you tried cooking it in this style instead? Some people who don't like egg may not like it when it's runny, like that little weird flavor that the yolk has. I can understand that because it took me a long time to be able to get behind that taste. But now I can say that I like egg pretty much in every form that I have been exposed to it. Raw, of course, I'm never gonna mess with it, but that's a completely different story. If you want to be that kind of influence, the experiential kind of influence, that's fine. But if I already have experience with something and I say that I don't like it, then that's when you should be keeping your distance. Just fuck off the matter. Don't bring it up. Don't try to influence the person. Leave it at that. I do find that sometimes people like to push themselves onto you. So that's where my question comes from with this person. When you got me that gift, were you trying to influence me into becoming a makeup wearer? Were you trying to just, you needed to get me something because you wanted to fulfill the whole, we give people gifts for birthdays or Christmases, therefore, here's my participation? Or were you just like, fuck it, I'm painfully unimaginative and makeup is just an easy thing to get and here you go. That's what I want to understand. Me personally, if I know someone well, I like to give them a gift that's practical or something that I know that they're gonna like. And if I'm not sure about that particular person, all I like to do is observe them. And if it comes down to it, I'm like, okay, you have a car, you probably need gas. here you go, gas gift card, something like that, if I absolutely cannot think of anything practical to give you. I know such a thing would be welcome. But yeah, you guys, I thought I would share that because gifts and me, I have a weird relationship with gifts. I am the kind of person who the calendar does not govern when I give. Sometimes I'll see someone from my squad and I'm like, here you go, I got you this. And they're like mind fucking blown. Probably because they weren't expecting it, or it's because they realize that I'm observative. That's how I like to give. But if you're giving me something because you feel committed to the calendar, it feels like a stress. It feels like a pressure. And maybe that's what happened in this situation. I was on my way out. You needed to get me something, and this is the best you could come up with. And based at the time, where I was at, what my matters were, I get it. But I don't know. What would you guys do? I finally realized that this is something that I wanted to share for a while, but I never wrote it down because it's one of those things that I have the memory of it. But I guess at the time, maybe I wasn't into making videos and stuff and I kind of forgot about it. But all of a sudden I had that flashback of that time that someone got me makeup as a gift, even though they knew that it's not something I did. And then I said, you know what, this would be a great topic because this situation can be applied in other ways. Have you guys ever been given something that the person knew you weren't into and they still gave it to you? Like, how did that make you feel?